Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank you for providing me the opportunity to present to you the importance of utilizing HR analytics to improve the structure and functionality within our company. HR analytics takes the same rigorous approach that is used when answering questions and making decisions about money, production, and technology, and applies it to talent acquisition, development, and retention. Over the next several minutes, I will describe how several key concepts in HR analytics can be used to improve our organization through focusing on the vital assets that contribute to its success, the employees. According to Casio et al., the world's most admired companies invest in people and see them as assets to be developed, not simply as costs to be cut. They go on to explain the importance of proactively investing in employees long before a need arises, as well as during times of uncertainty and instability. But deciding on the most effective and efficient means of investment into employees requires analytical measures. Casio et al. State HR measurement adds value by improving vital decisions about talent and how it is organized, and these measures must reinforce and teach the logical frameworks that support sound strategic decisions about talent. Here, I would like to propose using HR analytics to make calculated and informed decisions about the improvement of our workforce in three different areas: staffing, development, health, wellness, and welfare. Our staffing department covers a range of duties, seen here in the bottom row, that together produce our internal organizational network, and the decisions we make concerning these efforts can either lead to a productive or unproductive workforce. In order to ensure that our company continues to hire top talent and maintains its competitiveness, we must first take a look at our staffing procedures. As an example, we will focus on using HR analytics to evaluate how useful our current selection process is with improving the quality of selected candidates. This usefulness can be measured via two utility or usefulness models, the Taylor and Russell model and the Brogdon, Cronbach, and Glesser model. We will look at the latter today, which according to Casio et al. Defines usefulness as the increase in monetary payoff to the organization. The Brogdon staffing utility model was designed in response to a flaw in the Taylor-Russell model. To understand this improvement, one must have a basic understanding of the following terms. Validity coefficient is the correlation between a predictor of job performance and a criterion measure of actual job performance. The selection ratio is the proportion of applicants selected. The base rate is the proportion of applicants who would be successful without the selection procedure. And the success ratio is the value of the selection system calculated by dividing the number of hired candidates who are judged successful on the job by the total number of candidates that were hired. Casio et al.'s explanation of Brogdon's model's contribution is that the validity coefficient, if expressed in standard score units, represents the ratio of the average criterion score of those selected using the selection predictor score to the average score if one had selected them based on their criterion scores, which cannot occur prior to hiring. Brogdon's model of calculating staffing utility involves the following four steps. The first step is to express the predictor criterion relationship as a formula for a straight line, where y is the dependent variable, such as job performance measured in dollars, x is the independent variable, or score on a selection system, b0 is the y-intercept, b1 is the slope or rise over run, and e is the random fluctuation or error. The second step is to standardize X by converting the raw scores on the predictor and criterion to standardized form. To do this, we will subtract the average of the applicant's selection process scores from their original scores and divide by the standard deviation of X. The third step is to express the equation in terms of the validity coefficient. The expected value of B1 can be calculated using multiple regression software such as that found in Microsoft Excel. Here we substitute B0 with a symbol for the true average dollar criterion value among the applicants, B1 with the simple correlation between test scores on the selection measure X and the criterion measure Y times the standard deviation of the monetary value of the criterion times the standard X value. Subtracting the expected value we would get without using the system from both sides, we are able to calculate the expected average improvement in the monetary value produced by using the staffing system. We change the left side as delta U to symbolize the change in utility per applicant selected. The final step is to calculate the average cost of the selection process per selected applicant utilizing the equation shown here, where C stands for the cost of applying the selection process to one applicant, and A stands for the total number of applicants, and we divide the product of the two by the number of selected applicants. Moving forward, once we have determined the proper techniques for recruiting and selecting the right people, we now shift our focus on developing them. For this example, we will specifically look at development in terms of training onboard employees. Cascio et al. State that some forms of training yield superior benefits relative to others. Specifically, research reveals that training in technical skills yielded an effect that was 3.5 times higher than the effect for all types of training, and 6 times higher for that of general business skills. However, it isn't just the training itself that produces such positive results. Preparation for development and the aftermath of the training, involving opportunities for participants to apply their newly gained knowledge and skills, are vital to the success of any development program. The Brogdon staffing utility model can be slightly altered to calculate the utility for HRD programs by substituting the product of the validity coefficient and average standard score on the predictor achieved by selectees with the effect size, BT, which changes the result to a measure of the difference in job-relevant outcomes between those who participate in the program and those who do not. Here, the change in utility is equal to the monetary gain resulting from the program, where N is the number of employees, T is the expected duration of the beneficial effects in the trained group, SDY, as before, is the standard deviation of dollar-valued job performance among untrained employees, and C is the total cost of training the number of employees noted. By measuring the training utility, as well as incorporating supplemental training analysis, such as that which helps to identify best types of training, we can not only predict the improvement in job performance, but measure the monetary effects of training on organizational outcomes. This will help us make decisions on providing the most effective and cost-efficient training for our employees. Lastly, once we have hired the right people and developed a system of providing them adequate training to perform their responsibilities, we must consider their overall health and well-being for their benefit and the company's. As cited by Cascio et al., the U.S. Centers for Disease Control defines workplace health promotion as a coordinated set of programs, policies, benefits, and environmental supports designed to keep all employees healthy and safe. It is vital to not only promote workplace health through providing education and skill building activities, but to incorporate organizational policies and practices that provide employees with better means to adopt a healthier lifestyle. The information listed here was obtained from the CDC. There are many resources from the CDC, the World Health Organization, and others that not only explain the effects of wellness programs on employees, but provide great detail in how improvements to employees' lifestyles benefit their employers in terms of healthcare costs, loss of productivity, and more. The positive here is that a 1% annual reduction in the level of 4 health risks, weight, blood pressure, glucose, and cholesterol, has been shown to save $83 to $103 annually in medical costs per person. Researcher and professor of public health at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Laura Lennon, influenced Fortune magazine's description of ways organizations incorporate successful wellness programs. First, programs are practical and accessible. Programs that are difficult to utilize simply won't be utilized. Second, the overall organizational environment exudes health as a priority. Third, the company is designed in a way that its policies and procedures support a healthy lifestyle. Fourth, the organization provides support and resources to employees to help them pursue wellness. And lastly, health screenings and education are offered to increase awareness of the risk of unhealthy habits, the benefits of making health-conscious choices, and checkups to keep employees on track. One of the simplest ways to analyze the cost benefits of adding or continuing to support health and wellness programs is to perform a cost-benefit analysis to determine the return on investments. Cascio et al. Provide the example depicted here. A firm spends $250,000 during its first year of operation on a health and wellness program. They measure $90,000 in reduced employee turnover, $65,000 in reduced absenteeism, and $110,000 in reduced healthcare payments for a total savings of $265,000, resulting in a return on investment of 6%. While this logic and calculation seems fairly simple, we must also consider sensitivity analysis to examine the impact of variations in assumptions and break-even analysis to identify the minimum levels of dependent variables required for a recovery of investments. Nevertheless, considering the impact of wellness programs on turnover, absenteeism, healthcare costs, and overall employee morale, it is worth it to dive further into these trends. I encourage you to seek further information on the mutually beneficial impact of health and wellness analysis. That concludes my presentation on how HR analytics can help you make informed decisions and will have a profound impact on your employees and the organization. Thank you.